Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Pigment-mk and today I'm going to be doing a client makeup transformation tutorial. So please do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. So first of all, I'm going to be using my Blossom micellar water and my cotton pad to clean up the face. This would help to remove dirt and oil on the face. So next I'm going to be hydrating her skin with this Kiss Beauty green tea spray. Then I let it dry into the skin before moving on to moisturizer. So for moisturizer, I use my Cetaphil moisturizer to moisturize her face. It's always good to moisturize your skin, whether you have oily or dry skin, and make sure every product you apply dry before moving on to the next product. So for primer, I'm going to be using my Gentle Dove mattifying primer and apply it on the oily areas on her face. So next I'm going to be spraying her face again. Then after that I'm going to let it absorb into the skin properly before moving on to the next process. So I'm going to be using my nubanbeauty liquid highlighter on her face. This would help me achieve a glowy base. This is optional though. If you don't have it, you can continue doing your makeup. So I just used it because I have it. So for foundation, I'm going to be using my sylvamak foundation in the shade Olive. So I'm just taking my flat brush to apply it first all over her face. So before I go ahead blending the foundation, I always spray the face again. This would help me blend the foundation into the skin properly and have a smooth like finish. So can you see how well blended everything looks? I'm going to be sealing it up with this Kiss Beauty Fix Spray. This would help the foundation not to move, but you'd have to let it dry. So for contour, I'm going to be using my Flawless Ivy concealer, this shade, to contour her face. So next I'm using this orange shade from my Blossom lip palette and apply it above her contour and a little bit on the tip of her nose before I blended it using my beauty sponge. So moving on to concealer, I'm going to be using my Flawless Ivy concealer to highlight her face. I'm going to be leaving the shade in my description box. So I'm just taking my brush to apply it first before blending it in. So next I'm going to be using my beauty sponge to blend the concealer on the highlighted area. So next I'm going to be using that concealer I used to contour her face to contour her nose. Then I went ahead using my beauty sponge to blend. So next is to set the face, but before setting the face, I went back with my beauty sponge to blend the areas underneath her eyes to avoid creasing. Then I'm using my Sasha Buttercup setting powder to set the concealer on the highlighted area. So while setting, like I always say, you need to be light-handed so that everything doesn't look funny. So for the rest of her face, I'm going to be using this Milani compact powder in the shade Light to set the rest of her face. So for dry contour, I'm going to be using this shade from Adventure Oil Control Powder Palette to set the areas I applied the cream contour. So next, I'm going to be using the same shade to further enhance her nose. So next, I'm going to be using my powder brush to blend everything together. Then next, I'm going to be using my Kiss Beauty Fix Spray to set the face. This would help to reduce the brightness on the face. Then I let it dry properly before baking. So for baking, I'm going to be using the same Sasha Buttercup setting powder to bake her face. So moving on to her brows, I'm going to be using my spoolie brush to brush her brows first. Then I went ahead using my brow charm. This would help to, lay the hair nicely. So after laying the hair nicely, I'm going to be outlining her brows using my Carrot gel liner and my angled brush. So I started off from the lower part of her brows before I moved to the upper part of her brows. So next, I'm going to be brushing her brows again using my spoolie brush. So after this, I'm going to be highlighting her brows. I'm going to be using the same Flawless Ivy concealer I used to highlight her face to highlight her brows. Then I'm going to be blending the concealer using my blending brush. So I didn't see the need to highlight the top of her brows because they're already looking good in my eyes and my client was running out of time. So I went ahead using this Milani compact powder in the shade Light to set the concealer. So next, I added a little setting powder on the outer corner of her lid. Moving on to the eyes, I'm going to be using my Venge eyeshadow base and apply it on her lid using my brush. So moving on to eyeshadow, I'm going to be using my Beach Wave eyeshadow palette. So I'm just going to take this brown shade and apply it on the outer corner of her lid, then blending it towards the inner corner of her lid. So next, I'm going to be using this shade from my Blossom eyeshadow palette. I'm using it to blend out this brown eyeshadow I applied earlier. So next, I'm going to be applying this shade from my Blossom lip palette on her lid. So next, I'm going to be applying this orange shade just to give the lid some color. So I went back using this same brush I used to apply this darker eyeshadow to blend again. So next I'm going to be applying some setting powder on the outer corner of her lid to further define the lid. So next I'm going to be using this shade from the same Blossom lip palette and apply it on the inner corner of her lid. So I added a little bit of this ivory pigment on the inner corner of her lid. So moving on to the eyes, I'm going to be lining her upper lash line using my Carrot gel liner and my angled brush. So for her lower lash line, I'm going to be using this pencil on her lower lash line. So next I'm going to be prepping her natural lashes and also give it volume. For blush, I'm going to be using my Tara blush palette. So I'll just take this shade here and apply it on her cheeks and a little bit on the bridge of her nose. Then I went back using my powder brush to blend again. So next I'm going to be wearing her lashes from Mismetic Lashes. Then I went back blending the face and also removing the excess powder underneath her eyes. Then I used my finger to press her natural lashes and the false lashes together. So next I went back using my setting spray to set the face again. Then I let her face dry before applying this highlighter from Meva's Glow Dust. So moving on to the lip, I'm going to be using my Blossom lip palette. So I'll just take this brown shade to outline her lip. Then next I'm going to be adding this peach color in the middle just to brighten up the lip. Then I added some gloss on her lip. Next I'm going to be using this cheek glaze from Mismetics and apply it on the areas I want the highlights to pop. So this would help the face to glow more. So next I'm going to be using my Kiss Beauty Fix Spray to set the face for the last time. Then I let her face dry before I sealed it up. So next I sealed the makeup using my Soap Seal It spray. This will help the makeup to last longer. And next I had to add some mascara on her lower lashes. So I had to touch her lip again because she was complaining that the other part of her lip was dry, so I had to, like, blend it properly. And this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, share, comment, and I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much guys for watching. Bye.